Good morning, Remy.
Good morning, Breck.
How goes it this morning?
Better now that I realize we're on the same time instead of me being up an hour early and
It is
halfway ready, and then you
kind of
texting me that I was early, and then me having no power from the rain. So
I concur. I'm glad that we're not doing it so early. You're like, what time? I'm like, let's just do six. How about six?
yes,
You're compromising.
well, it's almost time for your sale.
It is. It is. I I'm looking forward to next week, Remy. uh, no, all jokes aside, I think about last year at this time versus this year at this time and my markers to see how further ahead I am or um, I am more prepared. Regardless if I like to think so or not, I'm much more prepared. I went and got my banners done earlier in this week, and last year I didn't even go in to get the banners done until the 16th, and the sale's on the 18th. So that would have meant that I did it today. Is today the 16th?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be. And last year I didn't. I went up there with no dry cleaning because we didn't get our dry cleaners to the dry cleaners in time. So somebody had to run that up to us because it wasn't done. What's the other thing? I've got both of those things are checked off my list, and then I had oh yeah, when we went up to the sale last year, I had no idea how we were going to put lot numbers on the horses. Thank God there was a hardware store there. We made that work. I'm all prepared for that this year. Um, yeah, there's a lot of things I feel pretty good about.
Good. So remember, if you're in the Prescott area this weekend, go to the American West Horse Sale and Bull and Heifer Sale and Team Roping.
Yeah, it's going to be a good weekend.
So we both had a lot of stuff going on, so we chose a lighter topic for this week, which was 10
Yeah.
things which make us happy.
Well, before we go into that, we should talk. We were in the same place this weekend too. We
Yeah.
both were in Queen Creek for the Coral in Queen Creek, the USTPA show. A lot of fun as always. But and Remy had a really good weekend, a lot of success. So that was awesome. Um, it is crazy because for me, well, you stay there, so it's not terrible. But for me, we have to drive back and forth, and oof, like by the end of those 3 day stints, I'm just like need a nap.
Yeah, I hit traffic coming home. I like drove 5 miles an hour through Phoenix and Avondale until I got to Litchfield Park. So that was not winning in my opinion when I drove home. But
Yeah, things you should know about Arizona: the traffic is fierce.
yeah, it's in spots I don't expect it to be. I was actually supposed to stay with one friend, and then she got really sick when we got there. So then I just had a sleepover with Stacey Howard. So Robin wasn't there, her mom wasn't there, so I got to
Oh
sleep up in the
no.
nose. Yeah.
Yeah.
I told James I would sleep in the truck, and he was like, "Remy, you're too old to sleep in the truck."
I would sleep in the truck. I've slept, yes. I think that I could do it too, Remy, still. Oh, there's one of my dogs making an appearance.
I
Hi.
don't think it's the sleeping in the truck that's the problem. It's the walking around the day after sleeping
Yeah,
in the
my
truck that
dog.
may be the problem.
Oh, see this?
I see this. At
That's
least I know it's
Luna.
not a cat this time. I thought it was a cat the first time.
That's Luna. No, so big shout out to Zach and Suzanne. They did a great job as always. A lot of fun. Remy was doing gymnastics on Friday night.
Yeah,
I'll just let you guys use your imaginations. How
everyone was very surprised by my athletic ability, but I can still do cartwheels and the splits, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. I have a lot of we had a lot of fun, and yeah, everyone's
no,
like, "I didn't know you were athletic," and I was like, "Okay, it's kind of offensive. I'm athletic. I'm fat, but I'm athletic."
I am not athletic.
But no, it's always a good show. I did well in the open sort. I won it with the coal pitch because everyone aside from Louie dumped me. So I went and got me one of my partner's girlfriends and beat him with her. So that was a lot of
There
fun.
you go.
That was actually the highlight of my weekend. Was I told them because the guys that I ride with are all mainly younger than me, and I was like, I feel like the old Eskimos that they send out into the ice floe just to die.
Oh,
But
Remy.
but I still won, so now I feel better about myself. And Brandon had a hell of a weekend. He won the Open. He won the 9 sort.
He did. He had a really good weekend.
He stayed out of a $10,000 sorting.
He did. And I feel like it's hit or miss for me, but I do feel like I find my footing a little more and more each time in the penning. So that feels good.
My horses were all good in this penning. I just didn't get anything. I guess I placed in the 9, so I shouldn't say I didn't get anything done. I just wasn't a stellar weekend in the penning.
Remy, did you know that I did get 2 placings in the 5s?
Well, look at you. I knew that you won it with your.
No, I did not win it. I did not win it.
No, you were second?
We were second, yeah, but
Second with Bodie.
I don't get to pen very often, but now down here, the last 2 years, I've got to pen a lot more. So it's been a lot of fun. And I used to not like it very much, but now I'm learning to like it. So.
Yes, I should also do as my husband says and stop complaining about ranch sorting, since that's apparently where I seem to win my money.
Yeah.
He's like, you sure do a lot of complaining about sorting for winning that much. So
it happens. All right, on to our topic. So today, yes, we've decided to talk about something that's lighthearted, and that is 10 things that make us happy. This should be extremely interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that mine are not consistent. There's a lot of them that are consistent, but mine change. I mean, rain would generally be on my list, but after like having 2 days of torrential downpour, I wanted to stop raining, so it didn't make the cut this time.
Was laughing this morning thinking about what could possibly be on your list, because you are, what's my word for you, bougie?
I think, but like mine are like big things. It's not even small things that make me happy.
The word that I always call you is you're unassumingly bougie, right? Isn't that what it is?
Yep.
Yeah. So she's so unassumingly bougie. I can't even imagine what could possibly be on this list. It's going to be like super eclectic, and it'll be very specific.
Yeah, and it's all, again, like I went with bigger things underneath them.
Okay, so you go first.
So first and foremost, coming in at number 10 is coffee.
I don't feel like I have mine ranked like you might, but we'll go with it.
Coffee makes me extremely happy. Coffee in every form makes me happy, but especially a venti hot latte from Starbucks. And I don't care if it is 110 degrees outside. I will drink hot coffee, not cold coffee, not iced coffee. It's a special occasion for iced coffee. Hot coffee is my favorite thing in the entire world. My 10th favorite thing in the entire world.
Well, that one actually was on my list as well. And mine, I was a little bit more specific because I love a nice morning, specifically on my porch with a cup of coffee, and specifically caramel creamer. I like anything that's caramel in my coffee. So I agree. Like there's like nothing better to me than that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I need coffee in the morning. I like it throughout the day to function. I've been accused of drinking entirely too much coffee when I get a little jittery and short with people. But I love coffee. It's the life fuel that keeps me going.
Me too.
And I used to switch between coffee and tea, but I have not switched that much to tea lately. I've been pretty consistent with coffee.
Yeah, no, I'm loyal to coffee. Tea would not do anything for me. Not a damn thing. Not a damn thing. What's next up?
dark nights and sitting out underneath the moon, because that's who I am as a person.
That's what I was expecting right there. That was that. That's what I was expecting.
It's like I don't like the dark in my house. I'm a lights on in the hall as I walk down a kind of girl. However, I can sit outside in the dark and not worry about anything. So I like dark nights out underneath the moon. I like watching the moon in the different phases. I like taking pictures of the moon. I like watching what the moonlight does to different things. So dark nights out underneath the moon, which yeah, again speaks to who I am as a person.
We're going to leave it alone. We're going to leave that one alone. My alone time? I don't know, but well, I know you're a little bit like this too because you like your alone time too. I don't know how to explain it, but
I think the less you have alone time, the more precious it becomes.
Maybe, yeah.
And
I kind of like that, you know.
I think alone time is very important. And as I get older, I want more alone time, because at first it's like I just need 10 minutes, which sometimes I still just need 10 minutes, but now
I need 2 hours.
But like no, it was like that was the thing, right? Because I never had alone time. I was always doing something. And now I have to make sure that I have alone time that isn't scheduled in with work, because yes, while I need alone time to do flyers or work on billing or whatever, that's not really alone time. That's just time where someone's not bothering you while you're doing a task. So
Yeah.
I like to drive and zone out or go to Target, or for you, it's cleaning stalls, right? It's just, I need to be alone.
Yeah, you know, I think back and I used to read a lot. Like, I'm obsessive with it though. So Brandon made me quit a little bit. I shouldn't say he made me quit, but he definitely made me stop for a while because I read obsessively and then I don't sleep. So that becomes a problem. So, but I would like to, I mean, I love to read. So a good book in alone time would make me extremely happy. But the problem is I can't do it for just a couple hours.
Yeah,
I do it until the book is done.
Yeah, I have to not read at night because I'm the same way. Even if I've read the book, I have to I'm like, just one more chapter, just one more chapter. And then,
Yeah.
it's 4:30 in the morning and then I'm tired the next day. So I have to,
Yeah, then you have to get up in an
I
hour.
have to set a timer when I read at night. Otherwise I will,
Timers didn't work for me.
yeah.
I would just, yeah. I would get so obsessive about it, Remy, that I would do it when I was working. I would take the book with me, and I traveled a lot. I was a salesperson, and I would stop to go to the bathroom, and I'd sit in the gas station parking lot for just 15 minutes, is what I would tell myself. And the next thing I know, I've sat there for an hour, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, I used to drive a lot too, because we just drive a lot. And when I went to college, it was an hour each way. So I listened to a lot of books on tape. So I still do that. I still have my
I don't
favorites.
find that as satisfying.
Yeah. What I like to do, honestly, and this sounds so dumb, is I get books on tapes of like my favorite books, and then I can listen to them because I already know what's going to happen. So I'm not really invested. So it's
Yeah,
background
you're not
noise.
very invested. Yeah, I get that. All right, what's your next up?
Coming in at number 8 is oak trees and green grass, because again, that speaks to who I am as a person. But I honestly, like, my phone is filled with pictures of oak trees. I love oak trees. I think they are the prettiest thing on earth. And
It's so specific and everything.
and I love green grass. Like, I'm part of that. Like, that's the cattleman in me. Like right now, like I love like when you're riding through it and it's all big and deep and cool. And
Yeah.
yeah, so for my cows, I love oak trees, and for them to have shade under. And I love
Shade. Shade
yeah,
is
and I love green grass. But as an aesthetic, I just like oak trees, specifically when they don't have leaves on them. I like that look. I mean, not for my cows, but for me. So
spooky.
again, that speaks to me as a person.
Oh my gosh. Remy, you're so much. You're so much. Um,
What's next on your list?
I know. Once again, mine are in random order. Um, so I love to laugh, and I know that sounds so stupid and corny, but I do. Like, it makes me happy. Like funny things, um, funny stories, watching people do dumb stuff. It makes me laugh. It makes me extremely happy. Uh, Probably don't get hurt like around me because there's a good chance that I feel like it's some weird sickness or disease that I have, but I do know other people who do the same shit. I mean, and I can't help it. Like, if you get hurt in front of me, there's a very high percentage chance that I'm going to sit on the floor and pee my pants. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me, but I've always been that way. So, speaking
I
of that, do you know that Bronson fell off this weekend?
I did not see it. I heard he fell off. He almost fell off on his run with me.
Yeah, I'm
But
sure
yeah,
he did.
I uh I heard it was not a great fall.
Well, the funny thing is, Remy, he's very dramatic. And so Brandon was already pissed off at him because he just is a renegade. And anyhow, right, like literally right before that happened, like I'm talking 60 seconds before that happened, he was riding with me and another pen. And when we were getting, because we did get 10 head and we were getting the last cow out, he gave his horse one last more hurrah and it hit me. And my phone fell out because I always put my phone in the front of my pants. My phone fell out of my pants and I heard a big crunch and my horse had stepped on my phone. So the back of my phone, like if you take it out of the case, is an actual horseshoe print on the back of my phone. Surprising that it still works. Um, so Brandon was pissed off at him for being all chargy right before that. And then he goes in with Bodie and falls off. And so Brandon's still like pissed off at him and he falls off and Brandon's standing on the outside of the pen and they're like, he's hurt, he's hurt. And Brandon's like, he's fine. He didn't even get stepped on. He's fine. And I'm like, oh my God, I think he's hurt too. So I go in there and Bronson's bawling and I think he got the wind knocked out of him. I think that that's what happened. And Brayden finally came in there and I think he wanted to wring his little neck for being so chargy because that's how he fell off. And we're like, let's go look at it. Tell us what it looks like. And he comes back. It's terrible. Oh my God, it's so bruised. Remy, he didn't even get stepped on. There's not a mark on his freaking leg. So he got the wind knocked out of him. That was everybody's big concern, was that he got stepped on, but he did not get stepped on. He just got the wind knocked out of him. So Brandon's like, I hope he learned his damn lesson.
It's we have some that are traumatic. That was like when my one son broke his collarbone last year. He's like a little bit traumatic, right? And I was like, you're fine, you know. I
You're
looked at
fine.
it,
You
there
just
was
broke your collarbone.
no, like I looked at it though, there was no swelling, there was no drooping, nothing. And I was like, oh, you just really hurt. And he was all scratched up. I was like, oh, you just really hurt your collarbone. And then he comes up to me later and I was like, oh, we got to go to the hospital because that is not at the same level it was earlier. So, chalk went up for me being an awesome mom and not taking him right away, but looks
Yeah.
fine.
Gotta love kids.
For me, coming in at number 7 are sweaters, sweatshirts, and jackets. And you can, I don't know why, I have an obsession with them. I love them. It's not that cold here, but the majority of my closet is filled
Like to
with.
be warm, Remy. You like to be warm.
I love sweatshirts. I love sweaters. I love jackets. Whenever I look at a new jacket, James is like, are you for real? You have so many. I was like, I need all of them in all of the colors. So, no, I don't know. I love love sweaters. I love like feeling all nice and cozy and
I
warm.
do too. Specifically soft things. That should have been on my list because I love soft things.
And I love soft things that don't get dirty for me because that's like, this is like
Good luck
very,
with it.
very soft, but it doesn't attract horsehair or shavings. I can't say hay because it doesn't matter if something attracts hay. I don't know what happens when I feed animals, but all the
It's in
hay
your
and
jackets.
Like all of it ends up on me. James is like, you fed one horse. Why are you head to toe in alfalfa? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
I have this one sweater. I don't know what they're called. You know, like they feel soft at first, and then you wash them, and then they feel like, oh, I can't touch that. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's like kind of, they're like fluffy. They look like you could just snuggle in them.
Like chenille or the polar fleece.
Well, it's like, it reminds me of polar fleece, but it's like a lot puffier or poofier.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anywho, I got one. And you wear that thing to feed hay, you might as well just plan on throwing it away because it ain't coming out of there. I mean, is Dundee. Dundee.
I used to wear like a lot of chenille when it was popular, and it sheds everywhere. And James like, you've got to stop wearing these sweaters because like you'd get up off the truck seat, and there'd just be like little pieces of fabric.
I don't even know what chenille is. What the fuck is that?
It's like a lot of blankets are made of. It's like kind of shimmery. It's very soft. It looks like a little puffy.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what I got from Costco that I just absolutely love? I mean, we're totally getting off subject here, but soft things. They've got Pendleton blankets at Costco. Freaking amazing. I mean, they are so good and they're heavy and soft.
Yeah, you can't wash them either. Real Pendletons you can't wash. They shrink.
Well, it came from Costco. Do you think it's real, Remy?
Well, I don't know, but it might be made out of the same things.
No, it's not. It's not. It's not wool, Remy. It's not wool. Yeah, if you wash
I always say that because
wool,
I have a lot of Pendleton
like for a
blankets.
doll.
And then I washed one of them when I was in college, so it's smaller. It's still big.
No, this isn't a wool Pendleton. It's like a soft, snuggly thing. I don't know. It's that same material as that sweater thing.
Oh, okay, I know what you're about, and I do not know what that material is called, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and if you get a piece of hay or shavings next to it, you're gonna throw it away because it is gonna be like embedded in there. You will not be able to get it out. So, okay. Did you already go? Did you go?
No, I think it's my turn again. No, it's your turn. It's your turn because I talked about sweaters. And then you talked about
sweaters, yeah. Okay. If I had mine in order, this one would be like probably.
You should be on number 7 because number 6 is next for me.
I know. Well, okay. So if I had mine in order, like this one would probably be number 3. It is something that it makes me extremely happy. I love it. I miss it, but I know that it needs to warm up a lot more before I'm going to love it like I really do. But my lake makes me very happy. I love that. Everybody always asks if we will sell our Minnesota farm. I'm like, hell no. Not unless I ever absolutely have to, because we have lakeshore there and it's right across. The road separates our farm from the lake, and the lake is my happy place. I love it down there. I mean, in the summertime, if it's nice, we always have lots of people over. People just stop by randomly because we're down there a lot. Love watching the kids play in the water. We have fires pretty much every night. It's amazing. I love it. It's amazing.
Well, that leads me to my number 6, which is bodies of water. My 2 favorite places are the Torrey Pines Beach in La Jolla in Southern California and Lake Powell. And both of these things will surprise some people because I'm also afraid of sharks and snapping turtles.
Yeah, she's got a weird phobia of water. So,
like, I love that. Like, Lake Powell is my favorite place on the entire planet. I love Lake Powell. I cannot hang out in the water by myself because my mom thought it would be a really good idea when teaching me to water ski to tell me that there were snapping turtles in the lake. So I can't just hang out in the water. Like, it takes a lot of deep breathing for me to just like sit in the water unassuming. I also am afraid of sharks in places they should not be. So chalk one up for the lake sharks. And this season on Mandalorian, they shot part of it at Lake Powell, and there's a giant crocodile in the opener, or the second episode,
I
which
don't
comes
know what Mandalorian is. What is that?
like a Star Wars TV show that I watched with my boys. But they shot it in Lake Powell, or CGI'd it in Lake Powell, in the bay that we're always in, and there's a giant like alligator that comes out and eats all the people, and I was like,
I
oh,
bet
that's
that helped your phobia.
I was like, that's awesome. But I love, we go to Torrey Pines. I love the ocean too. I actually love the ocean everywhere. I love that it's so big. I love that it's so powerful. I like the sunny ocean. I like the foggy ocean. I like things that are big and beyond my control and will just keep going on for infinity with or without me. So I like to feel small next to the ocean. It makes me feel better.
I don't differently.
What's your what's
What's
your
my
next one?
what?
I also find water very soothing. Like very soothing. I love the water. I swim all the time too.
I mean, I don't swim or any. I mean, I don't. I can't really swim. So, but our
It's
lake
really
is.
good. You know what you should really do is have a lake property if you can't swim.
I know our lake property is very shallow. So, all's well. But yeah, I love it. The water helps me too. Soothing. It's very calming. Makes me happy. I've found that I really like teaching. I like helping people with their horses. Um, but not only their horses, I like helping people with themselves. Like talk about ideas of things that they can, or that, things that they might have on their back of their head that they want to do. I like helping them get started with all that stuff. But I think over the last 4 years, I've really taken a lot of, like, it's just been very satisfying for me to help others do good things, period, with their horse. I love watching them figure it out. I love watching them have success. Um, I like I like being the cheerleader.
Yeah, I love coaching. I love teaching. It did not make it onto my list, but I genuinely do love that. I love training horses. I love training people. I love figuring out why they're having problems because it's almost never the horse. It's almost always something else. So I like to figure those things out too. And
Yeah.
I like to be a problem solver. So yeah. Coming in at
I
number
probably forever will be the person getting in trouble at the shows because I get excited and I love to help them. And
look, there was some drama this weekend at the show, and Zach wanted to get upset, and he was like getting heated. And I was like, Zach, we all need to take a deep breath and step back. And I said it just like that.
I don't think
And
I had anything to do with any of this, by the way.
no, you didn't. And he turned around and I said it just like that. I was like, Zach, we need to take a deep breath and step back. And he was like, turns around and get mad. And he like looked at me and how I said it. And I was like, Zach, if I'm telling you, if I'm the voice of reason that's telling you to take a deep breath, maybe we should take a deep breath. And he just started laughing. It's like, that's a good one. That's a good one. So, no, just people get emotionally invested in things that are not worth the emotional investment, or they get bothered by.
And we've both probably been there.
100% all the time. That's why I'm really good at.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what somebody else told me. Take a deep breath.
Just take a deep breath. Just let it go.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. Am I 5? Am I 4? I don't know. My next one, we could more than 10. We could do more than 10 because my top ones after this one, they all kind of go together. Is fire. I love fire. I love candles. I love fires in in my fireplace back there. Also, side note, we talked about this before I came on air. I'm not in my office because my sons have open house tonight, and my office is full of a state report for Nevada and a zebra project, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff on the floor in my office because we were crafting with my boys. But I as much as I find water soothing, I find fire just as soothing. So campfires, fires in my fireplace,
It did
candles.
not make my list, but I agree. I mean, I'm a
I love
big candle
I love
person.
watching fire. Like I think it's very pretty. And then I like all the stuff that happens around fires. So, stuff. Um, I like campfires. I like hanging out around a fire. I like,
Yeah, we have fires pretty much every night.
and we do in our backyard when it's warm for us, which is not
Not
the same, which is not the same as Minnesota warm, but warm for us.
yeah, I'm a big fire person too. I don't like the way I smell when I step away from the fire sometimes, but
You know, it is what it
here or
is.
there.
What's your next one?
Watching my kids. I I love watching them and whatever they do. Um, I feel like my kids are at a really fun age right now too, because not like I hate to say that I hate to make them older or like see the time pass faster. Does that make sense? Because I don't wish that at all. Like I know I'm gonna miss this when they're gone, but like God, they're so fun and funny, and I do really want to kill them most days, some days, and I think it's just because we're together 24/7 and have been for such a long time, which also makes me think that it's going to be really hard for me to because I've spent so much time with them over the last 2 years. It's going to be really hard for me to like let them go somewhere for a few days, which sounds so bizarre because I need a break from them, but it's probably super unhealthy. It's a little life that we're living here because we don't ever get a break. And now I'm afraid that I probably won't because it's going to be weird when they're gone. And we just, when we're not fighting, we're laughing. So, and it's the fighting and laughter is definitely intertwined throughout the whole day. But the laughs are super, super funny. And their senses of humor are really funny. And I just love that. And I love watching them ride. Um, yeah, it's love it.
Yeah. Uh, Coming in next for me is my friends. I love my friends. I could not get by without. Well, I could. I could get by without my friends. How about I don't want to get by without my friends? And I am forever thankful for them putting up with all of my bullshit and telling
And
me when it's bullshit.
continued.
And also being a soft space to land. My friends have made me a better person in a lot of ways because they hold me accountable for all the big ideas I have, right? It's really easy to tell, like with Zach, it's really easy to tell someone to breathe deep, but you need someone that tells you you also need to breathe deep. You just can't give that advice and not follow it. And my friends have opened up a vast array of doors for me. So I am forever thankful for the people that think that I am important, who I also think are important, and the people who love me unconditionally. So yeah, it's next on my list is my friends. To all of you, I love you. It's not that there's not a lot for me to say because yeah, I just love my friends.
As you should, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should.
What's next on your list?
My dogs. My dogs. I joke that they're my emotional support animals, but I think that they truly are. uh, and what you may or may not have known about me is that I raised dogs for 17 years. So all but Mavis. Mavis is my blackmouth cur, who I love deeply. Um, all of my dogs are dogs that I've raised, and they came from my bloodlines that I've had for many, many years. I no longer have the dogs other than LJ and um, Tilly and Luna. But yeah, they sleep with me every night like little cats. They sleep around my head, and I love that. They're always with me. Uh, they never have leashes. They just follow me wherever I go.
They
They
jump out of trailers to follow you.
yeah, they love me. They love me a lot.
Uh, that comes to my next one on my list, which is horses, dogs, and cattle. All of the things,
All the things.
all the animals. Chickens and goats did not make my list because I do not care for them or about them. But there's very few things that make me as happy as finding calves in the grass, or sometimes not in the grass because we don't always have great years. But I love cattle. I really love horses. I have a few specific horses that I love, but the up and down side of being a horse trainer is that horses come and go. And uh, I remember when I was little, like my best pony, and my mom, I made a promise to never sell her. And of course, she sold her because I couldn't show her anymore because there's an age limit on showing certain sizes of ponies. And it broke my heart, but it also set me up for every time you have a really nice horse, you know, if you sell it or it's done in your program, then you get to move on to the next nice horse, which is a double-edged sword. It makes you feel bad sometimes, but again, for every nice horse I ride, there's the opportunity to ride another nice one. So I love
That's
horses.
funny that you're, because everybody always asks me too, like, oh, I bet that you're so sad when you sell one. And I'm like, no, pretty much was only sad over one. And then after that, you get like, I was sad over my first pony too. And then you get tough. And
You do, and there's certain horses like right now we have my old crippled mare is out in the pasture. She earned her retirement and she's getting bred this year. And then the black mare that I ride, and then James's roan mare. And they're, you know, each of those three was or is phenomenal in their own right. Like the roan mare that of James's is amazing to sort on. And the black mare of mine is really good to sort on. She's amazing to pen on. But we also cowboy on those horses. So I become more attached to them when I ride them outside rather than competing on them. And for the first time in our life, I don't have to sell them right away. So it makes me very happy to keep them. But I do. I love horses. And then I love my dogs. My dogs don't come inside the house. I don't like dogs in my house. I don't like fur in my house. I don't like dirt in my house.
burn dirt everywhere.
Yeah, I don't want it. I don't want my stuff to smell like dogs. However, um, I have a Catahoula cross. She's like 7/8 Catahoula and an eighth Kelpie. Her name is Tess. When you come to our place, she is the queen bee, and she walks around like that, and she sits up like very regally when she sits.
That's
And
amazing.
then my next dog is a giant black mouth cur named Cole. That He's a cool cat. And then I have a blue brindle black mouth cur who is tiny, and her name is Lapras. And she is the most feral dog I have ever owned in my entire life. I have tried every way to train her, and none of them work. And she really only listens to my husband and my friend Sarah. She kind of listens to me. She really listens to James. So now I just tell James she's his dog. And you know what? This is what I get for buying a dog for color. It is like buying a horse for color. I bought a dog for color, and it does not listen. It is like buying a horse for color, and it is not a mistake that I will make again. She's a phenomenal dog. She's just fucking wild, man. And so good with my kids. It's a very weird dichotomy. She's like the sweetest, gentlest dog in one way, but a non-listening some bitch in others. So, you know, it is what it is.
That's funny.
What's next on your list?
I love a good time. Like, I, does that sound weird? No, I love to have a good time. I, makes me super happy to go do something super fun and be with my friends. Um, let my hair down. I love that.
Yeah, I think actually people don't enjoy good times enough. Right. Like they make them special occasions because some of the best times I have are sitting in the truck driving down the road with some of my friends. And It's not a special occasion for a good time. It's just a
Yeah, no, I like the spur of the moment, unplanned. That's fun.
coming in second on my list are my children. I really enjoy my children. Um, which, like, I know you're supposed to enjoy your children, right? Like, you're supposed to say that you enjoy your children. Uh, but I really do. They are very funny. They are all very different. My oldest is sweet and caring and kind of
It's
has a goof.
funny how different they all are.
It's crazy to me. And like, he's very kind of got a goofy sense of humor. Like, it's very, like, it's much more straightforward, right? Like, it's a straightforward sense of humor. Brayden is my prima donna and my little diva. And like, so he had, back to this, the reports, they had to choose a wild animal, I think. I don't know. Anyway, he was doing a report. He was doing a zebra. So he got zebra pattern paper to put all of his stuff on. He got black and white diamonds to put all over his thing. He got like zebra animals to put on it. Is very well done, and it's was very even and particular. And like Kyle's state report looks, and he did it. Like, I didn't do it. My mom didn't do it. He did it all, and then Kyle did his report, and it looks very good, but it's not nearly as even and thought out. And then Brayden has a very dry sense of humor, and it's very funny. Like, but sometimes he catches you off guard because and James has the same sense of humor. Like, did you say that? Like, did you mean to say that? No, he meant to say it. And it's very funny, but it catches you off guard because you got like an 8-year-old with a dry sense of humor. And then, Trent is like, yeah, that kid like belly laughs and he's got like 2 sets of dimples and he's almost always pretty happy. He's hyper competitive. And then I got my last one, Clayton, who is like, he's going to be a pharmaceutical sales rep because he can talk you into anything. He smiles all the time. He's got one dimple and he can get away with so much stuff. And my dad says it's because he's the baby and he'll never be dethroned, but I don't think it's that. I think even if I had another one after him, he would. I'm not. Side note, not having another baby, but even if I did, I don't think he would be dethroned because
Crazy.
he's just like big personality and like funny. And even his teacher says, she's like, I have to look away because I can't help but laugh when he does something that should get him in trouble. Because he'll like wink at you, with like the one dimple, and you're just like, I can't get past it.
Here you go. Whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
All right, what's your next one?
Love
You didn't
boys.
rank them. I ranked mine.
Mm, these are getting pretty close now. I love I love my horses, and for me, um, well, I just know that there are many days like when the sun is shining and I'm out there loping circles. I'll just and it sounds so corny and stupid, but it's not. I'll just find myself smiling, listening to Pandora. I love listening to Pandora, loping horses, and just it feels like the greatest life ever.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean,
I think about it all the time. Like, I get paid to ride pretty ponies.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. I mean, I think about it often as I'm out there, and I just I love it. I
no,
love that.
I
I love
was
what they do.
talking. I was talking to someone about this yesterday. Like, I get paid to ride pretty ponies and work cows and do all that, and it's a lot of fun. It is also a lot of work and
Yeah.
struggle, but I uh, I was talking to someone. They go, "Why didn't you?" Because I had to write a letter for someone. They go, "Why didn't you just go to law school?" And I said, honestly, when I turned in my honors thesis, I was done. I was done being in the library all the time. I was done with all of that, and our life is a struggle sometimes. But again, it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun. It's like a
But
lot of fun, and it's worth this for me. It's worth the struggle because there's a lot of easier things I could do that do not fill my heart the same way with what I do.
yeah, it's like choose your hard. I mean, if you worked for somebody else, that'd still be hard. You work for yourself, that's hard. You can just choose your hard and figure out how to be happy with it.
Yeah, and again, loping horses, listening to birds sing, finding cows out in the middle of pasture, all of those things are amazing.
That makes me happy. Yeah. Yep.
And coming in at number one is my husband, who I love all the time, but I do not like all the time. And people are texting me things. Um, I am lucky to have found someone also, like my friends, that puts up with my bullshit, that also puts me through some bullshit, um, but who's always in my corner, who always has my back, and someone that looks at me like I still set the sun on fire. And I think when you're younger, again, this is not a problem for me, but I see it in a lot of younger girls, right? They want they don't understand that like you're not going to be pretty forever, right? Or maybe some people are. I'm not. I'm sure it's not going to be pretty forever, right? But you want the person that like when you look like shit, right? When you look like shit, or you've been throwing up all night, or you've given birth to a baby, or like fuck it, just life fucked you, right? And you look like shit. You need someone to look at you like you are still the prettiest thing out there, because again, it's not what you look like, right? They're looking at you for all the things that they love about you. I know. But like you get some people and they're like, oh, well, he's so attractive or she's so attractive. I'm like, that wears off. And also, when you look at pretty all the time, it's not pretty anymore. It's just background noise. So you need to look at someone that looks at you and sees all the good and bad and still loves you for what you are. And again, that doesn't mean it's easy. It doesn't mean that it's great sometimes, because you and I both talked about it. We fight with our spouses, no problem. I'm very intense. He's very intense. We do not have the same problem solving skills, which works because we're complementary in our problem solving skills. But yeah, I mean, if you have someone that you want to have your back, then, I married my best friend and I was lucky. So girls, don't settle for the guy that tells you to lose weight, or if you were just these things, or you just think it's super hot and there's nothing there, because at some point you will be
You have
puking
to
in.
be with this person the rest of your life.
Yeah, like you're going to be puking in the bathroom. They're going to have to clean something up. You're going to have to clean something up. Things are going to go very wrong at some point. So make sure that you choose the right person to be in the trenches with. And everyone's got different qualifications for that. I feel like I chose the right person to be in the trenches with, even if we don't always see eye to eye or like each other. The dislike doesn't last very often. A lot of it comes on the
Oh,
heat.
depends on the day, Remy.
Yeah,
Depends
it depends on the day. But I mean, again, it depends on the day. It's not like it's a week of not liking someone. You're just like, you know what? I need 10 minutes away from you to not
I
be
need
with
my
you.
alone time.
And again, like, I've talked about it a lot. I think it's important to understand, especially like, and a lot of people are getting married older now. So I understand this too.
Yeah, they're living their life a little
Right.
bit.
But like, I got married youngish. I got married when I was 21, which was young at the time. And you will be with different versions of yourself and your spouse. So again, you have to find the person that you'd rather be backed in the corner with, even if you're going through growing pains of yourself or in the relationship. So I got lucky. And also he's aware of how crazy I am. So that's check that box off.
It'd be hard to be with somebody else because then you have to divulge all that information to them and then it just gets weird, right?
I mean, look, we already touched on it on my later favorite things. If I'm ever by myself, I'm just going to be the witch that lives like up in a hill by herself. So I don't have to tell anyone my crazy. I'll just be alone in a shack.
Well, our number ones are very similar because mine is the same. My husband. Uh, for me, I think it makes me happy that we're working side by side, building a life that we love together. And for a long time, I didn't think that we could ever do that. I never put myself out there to be able to do that. Now we're doing that. And as weird as it was to work beside him every day, that first, like, because I mean, I worked in corporate America for 17 years, so we weren't together every day. It was really hard. Still can be hard to work together, to figure out how to work together. Um, but it's been good. And I like that. I like that we both just keep on working for what I'm not sure. I love working next to him, and I love being next to him every day and like together, I guess. Once a year, again, it got weird because we're never apart. So then when one leaves, which we were so used to being apart, I was overnight traveling all the time. He was too. Now it's not very often that we're apart, and it feels weird when we are.
Yeah, I mean, it was this last weekend. It's the same thing. James and I aren't apart very often, and it's funny because then we're on the phone all the time. Even when we're together, we're on the phone all the time. So James always jokes like because we'll be somewhere, and he's like, "Well, how is your truck gonna get home?" And I'm like, "I'm gonna drive it." He's like, "No, you're gonna drive with me." And I'm like, "No, we have two rigs because we got to haul usually a lot of cattle." It's like, so I can't drive with you. Um,
Well,
but
we
if
have.
it was up to James, I would still be sitting in the truck all the time, right next to him. And yeah,
It's funny how you grow together, like the longer you've been married. But I better get off because we need to get busy here. But
and I got to make lunches because we started later this morning, and
I know here we are.
look at us killing it. So, well, good luck at the horse sale. I hope
Thank you.
everything sells well. And I'm going to try not float away because it's also supposed to rain Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week.
Never ending.
I
All
know.
right. Until next time, be bold,
Be brave.
be humble. See you next week.
Bye, guys.